that committed here is the tight end position. Cypress, Texas, Bridgeland High School, 6'5.5", 233. Reid Mikeska, did I pronounce that correctly?
That's one that I've only read. I've not heard. So could be Mikeska, could be Mikeska, could be a couple different things, but no matter how you pronounce it, he's going to be a Miami Hurricane. So that's another big one. So basically, you get a pair of 6'6", 225 plus tight ends in back-to-back weeks. One Jackson Carver from Culver Academy in Indianapolis, and then the Reid Mikeska kid from Cypress, Texas. And if you're pairing wide or tight ends of 166, 225, 166, 233, 235, you're doing a good job at recruiting tight ends there. So shout out to Stephen Field, the tight ends coach. Reid Mikeska was committed to Clemson, decommitted from Clemson. Florida was trying to get him on campus for an official visit this past weekend. Oklahoma was kicking the tires. They were trying to make a move. Obviously, they recruit in the that area of the world in Texas very well. But after visiting Coral Gables, that was all she wrote for Mikeska. He canceled his official visit that was supposed to be last weekend to Florida because once you've been to Coral Gables, why in the world would you go to Gainesville? So Oklahoma also, who's, again, done very well recruiting in Texas, building the foundation of their program. They lost out as well. So was committed to Clemson, picked Miami over Florida and Oklahoma, is the second tight end in this class. And, in the same kind of conversation that I just had to finish the Emory Williams point, taking both Carver and Mikeska would not preclude Miami from taking another more highly rated player at that position. So we can talk about that in a little bit as well in terms of the tight end prospects moving forward. But so that's 3 commits in the last 2 weeks, 2 tight ends and a quarterback. And again, these are more chess moves being made, right? These are more, I don't know if it's trading pawns or whatever, but now when you get into quarterbacks, you're moving up in the world, right? Because quarterback is a singular position in the sport of football. You get one that you like, who's an elite level finalist with, skill, potential, and demonstrated performance. Again, even if he's not the number 1 player in America, if you really like what you have in Emory Williams, you have to be happy about that. And then you get, 2 tight ends. Now, I did see that some people were saying that the Jackson Carver kid is going to play offensive tackle down the line. That could be potentially possible. He's not as big as Mike McLaughlin was when we took his commitment, but we took Michael McLaughlin's commitment a couple of years ago. He had played only tight end in high school before he played tackle his senior year, but he was already 255, almost 260, right? So a little bit different. I heard or saw people making mention of like Eric Winston, who ended up being, left tackle, first round NFL draft pick, a president of the NFL Players Association for many, many years, coming out of Texas and everything. That guy, he came from a running high school program in Texas. His freshman year at Miami, he was a de facto lineman because he didn't catch but maybe 1 or 2 passes. But every time Eric Winston came on the field, you had a 3rd offensive tackle, a 6th offensive lineman. That was a little bit different than Jackson Carver. Now, again, that could happen. I'm just not necessarily going to make that 100% the path forward for him. But any way that you slice it, getting those 3 guys is positive for Miami. It continues to build the foundation for this class as the staff continues to try to make inroads with some of the more highly rated players on the board that we've been bringing in.
Mikeska, 24 receptions last year, 229 yards and 4 touchdowns in Cypress, Texas.